Hello everyone, I'm Jack from Minnelli Studio Entertainment and I'm here to bring you a little tiny video about a film that I love and you probably heard of, or maybe not, and it's called Blood Simple. That's right, the Coen Brothers directorial debut. Technically, like on the credits, it's only one of them. I believe that Ethan or Joel is the director and Ethan's the producer, but it's a Coen Brothers film. And what I truly love about this film is that how much it gets me depressed because I'm a filmmaker myself. And when I watch these directorial debuts of my favorite filmmakers, and you hope to see flaws, you hope to see, oh, they didn't have it figured out yet. These guys, these brothers, they had it figured out. The noir tone, the imaging, the cinematic set pieces, the hard-boiled characters, they already had that down pat. And it's kind of depressing, like I said. This film depresses me in I guess, a good way because it's fantastic, especially for a directorial debut. This is a film about a guy named Ray, and he starts hooking up with his boss's wife. And his boss is kind of scummy and hires a private detective to, track him down, and okay, she's cheating on him and blah blah blah. You know the story. It's the same song and dance that you've heard. But what makes this film so unique is the Coen's cinematic language. It's there. This is basically a precursor to No Country for Old Men. Especially the opening. The opening is exactly the same. Exactly the same as No Country Old Men. And this is also the first time the Coens are dealing with evil. And that's a theme the Coens will keep going for in every other film. And even in their comedies, like in Raising Arizona, there's a Mad Max, devil character. In Fargo, one of the hitmen are just evil. Sugar, No Country for Old Men. They are obsessed with evil, devilish demon characters. And I like that. And it all starts here. This is their first collaboration with Frances McDormand, and she does okay. She does okay. She gets better. I kind of love how this film she starts as the femme fatale, but not really, right? It's not really a femme fatale. She is kind of cast as that, and then later, 10 years later, when they do Fargo, she's the cop solving the murder. So it's kind of funny. The title "Blood Simple," I believe, comes from Dashiell Hammett, and because the Coens love Dashiell Hammett, and apparently Miller's Crossing is an adaptation of his stories, but I don't think so. But it's the title alludes to, say, if you commit a crime and you go simple, right? So you go simple, you start to feel guilt, and you go to the police and you feel bad, and that's not good, especially if you have accomplices, right? If you go to the police and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna hand myself in, and they're like, nah, man, you work for multiple people, or you definitely didn't do it yourself. So that's Blood Simple. That's what it means, and it's stated by the hitman slash PI to the bar owner. It's a pretty interesting title. It really sticks to you, and when you're making an independent film like this, you really want something like that. And this cover is fantastic, and it really sells the film. This film can be called Blood Simple, A Tale of Misunderstanding. Because that's what this film is. It's a bunch of misunderstanding. Ray thinks something, Frances McDormand thinks something, the bar owners think something, and the private detective turned hitman slash photographer thinks something. No one's really communicating with one another, and how Ray thinks Frances is thinking this, who thinks Ray is doing this, which is the private detective thinking this. And again, it's all misunderstanding. It's not their tightest of scripts, but it does have one of the best sequences in the middle of the film where Ray I don't want to spoil too much because I really want you to watch this. But Ray is doing something, and there is just no dialogue for, like I said, for like 20 minutes, and it's breathtaking. It's breathtaking. I would also say the music is a little redundant. I had the menu on for a while, and my wife, told me to shut it off because how it was just annoying. And that song does play throughout the film, and it's all right. The cinematographer is Barry Sonnenfeld, who is the cinematographer for their early films. So he's the cinematographer for this, Raising Arizona, and Miller's Crossing. Then he goes off and he branches out and becomes a director, and he does The Addams Family and Men in Black. So the film's beautiful. I love the lighting. It has that noir lighting where it's heavy contrast and has a slight light on the back of everybody, a bright light. This disc itself, the Coen Brothers don't really do commentaries, but they have a conversation with Barry, and they go through the film, and it's about an hour. And this film is technically a re-edit version. This version is a re-edit of the original. They said this is like the perfect version of the film. I wouldn't know. This is the only copy I've ever seen. Again, this is a fantastic neo-noir. I highly recommend it. And tell me down below if you've seen it. I love it. I love directorial debuts. I love good ones like this. Obviously the ultimate directorial debut is Citizen Kane, but there's Hard 8, there's Reservoir Dogs, Slackers, Clerks. I can name, butt ton. Evil Dead. I did a video on Evil Dead if you want to check it out, and I talked quite a bit about the Coen Brothers during Evil Dead, and I talked about, I'll talk about that right now. So the Coen Brothers are acolytes to a Mr. Sam Raimi, and they kind of did what Sam Raimi did when they were making the Evil Dead. They made a fake trailer. Sam Raimi made a short film and sold a short film. They made a fake trailer using Bruce Campbell, and they run around different businesses, and they made about $900,000 to make this film, something like that. And they, like I said, they used Bruce Campbell in the role of Ray, and I think it's just him dragging a shovel on the ground. Yeah, it's a beautiful trailer, and that's some scenes in here is showing the Coens' horror instincts because they never really make a horror film, but the hitman here is pretty much a horror character, and there's some beautiful horrific sequences. I would love to see the Coens make a horror film. Coens, you should go do that. This is a fantastic film, and if you haven't seen it, you should pick it up. So that was a short little video made by me, Jack from Minnelli Studio Entertainment. If you were entertained, please hit the subscribe. Comment down below if you've seen this film before or think about picking it up during the Criterion sales in November and July and whatever flash sales Criterion does, because they do that quite often. Click someplace around here. I made a video on Sam Raimi recently, and I think it's a pretty good video, so check it out. Like I said, Sam Raimi is very important to the Coen Brothers and to their filmmaking. With that being said, I'm Jack again with Minnelli Studio Entertainment, and I'm signing off saying, watch more movies.